And hello everyone. So today I'm going to talk about a very minimalistic way of uh, doing Vim and LaTeX, or rather neovim and LaTeX. It's more like a curiosity thing to see whether it's possible. Okay, because it's just my own personal curiosity and just want to tinker around with things. And I just want to tinker around with things. That's why I'm doing this. So yeah, just a disclaimer. This is not the best, most optimized way of doing it. It's a very primitive way. It's just something I'm interested in. So if that's not your interest, you don't have to watch this. But yeah, if you are interested, you're welcome to watch. So of course, there are things like Vim LaTeX Suite and vimtex that actually help you to do LaTeX editing in Vim and really help you compile within the editor and everything. But I'm just wondering, what's actually going on behind the scenes? Can I do it without all these plugins? Answer is of course you can, but there are some limitations. And of course, depending how much effort you want to put in, you can of course do the same things as them, or you just have something quite limited. So I'm going like for somewhere in between. I have some of the conveniences of doing it's almost like VS Code. Okay, almost like VS Code editing with LaTeX Workshop, but not quite there. I'll show you what I mean in a bit. So to start off, I have a empty folder called the Tech Playground. So literally, I'm just here playing with tech files, LaTeX files, and I'm going to touch a test.tech, and I'm going to end vim test.tech. Okay. So I just want to show the very basics first, or some of the commands I like to use. I'll open up nerd3, open up test.tech, and the first thing I'll do is, well, let's see, document class. Okay, so the thing is a bit lagging now because I think the LSP server is starting. Okay, document class. And I can just put article. Okay, and then begin, and then there'll be a snippet here because I have the LSP server going on. Okay, come on. Alright, snippets aren't working so nicely. Article. I'll do one more time. F4, F5. Yes, F5. F5 seems to work. Okay. Document. So this is the basic three things you need: document class and begin and end document. That's at least the basic things you need for LaTeX. And I'll just say a hello world. Okay. So this alone doesn't do very much. How do you compile it? How do you make it into a PDF document? Okay, my tool of choice here is to use the terminal within neovim. I'll use latexmk. Okay, latexmk actually runs PDF LaTeX or whatever else LaTeX you have behind the scenes. So latexmk. Okay. However, there is one thing one very important command just to want to emphasize. It's called the PVC. PVC actually stands for preview continuously. So preview document and continuously update. Okay, so that's what PVC is about. latexmk PVC. This is the most important command. And if you of course run this, you will only be generating DVI files, no PDF files. So this will open a DVI viewer. And then of course there'll be some lag because this is not the best of computers, but here is a DVI viewer that just says hello world, as you can see here. Now I don't want to be using DVI viewers because I like to use something a bit more sophisticated, a little bit more fully featured. So I'd rather just have PDF. Okay, so I have PDF along with it. Okay, it will compile the PDF. But it'll say here in my bash shell or z shell, it says that, or z shell, acroread is not found. Acroread is just a reader for this PDF reader. So what I'll do is I'll just use Ocular in a very manual way. Just use Ocular to open the PDF. You can use any other PDF viewer you want, but Ocular will do just fine. Okay, so there's both the DVI and the PDF, which you can use Ocular to do. And here it is. So nice thing about the PVC command is that you can do things continuously. So if I type 1 2 3 4 5, you will see 1 2 3 4 5 immediately happen here. See, it will auto load. That's what the PVC command does. It's one of the most useful things. So I can just put a section, and then I will put some random section with random math stuff. So I can just do my dollar signs here. Of course, it will complain. It says over here, this is my language server protocol. It says use these parentheses rather than a $. I mean, you can do that. It's just a stylistic choice. But I'm just used to doing $, or begin and end equation. So I mean, that's fine. Okay, so but I can put a integrate sign here and go ... Have the math formulas here. Okay, forgot my dx, of course. Is usually careless. I don't want to say I'm usually careless. I have a tendency, but I can choose to I acknowledge is there. Of course, I can take measures to overcome. Okay, but anyway, here's some random integral formula which you can use. Okay, the one limitation with this, while of course it does update the PDF continuously, is that you cannot do forward and reverse search. What is forward and reverse search? If you do this random method, no, not random method, this very primitive method, you cannot exactly get forward search. Meaning to say, if I click on this equation here, somehow it will navigate to this equation here in a PDF. You cannot do it well. If you want to do that, you still got to install those plugins, or maybe use something like VS Code. Okay, so the relevant plugins are vimtex. Vimtex is very good for that. Okay, so yes, that is it for the basic LaTeX stuff. Of course, we don't just want to stick there. A lot of people would like to use citations. So next thing I want to talk about is some citation engines to use. I like to use Mendeley, but jabref is also a very good piece of software. It's available for free. It's open source. You don't need an Elsevier account or anything like that to sync, and then you can just use Git to sync your bib files up and down. And yeah, this thing is catered specifically for bibtex citations. So that's a pretty good thing. I don't know whether it integrates well with LibreOffice, but it is specialized for LaTeX or bibtex to be more accurate. So it is a good tool to have. And nice thing is, of course, they have a web search engine here. Okay, so you can install it, can download it from your App Store or package manager, whatever you have it on Linux. Windows and Mac is also available, but I won't go through how to install those. That's not the point. But yes, I would like to maybe web search for some good articles, and I can do some citation here. So to begin our citation, how do we start? Okay, like any good programmer, just Google, look on Stack Overflow, Stack Exchange, whatever, and just copy and paste some formats. So here is a format which I'm copying from Matt H here, so credits to him. So I'm just copying and pasting this and keeping my fingers crossed that it actually works. But yeah, I just want to keep this document as minimalistic as possible. Let's see, just check where this is supposed to be. So this is supposed to be after document class and before the begin document. So that's where the use package is. This is where the preamble. So I'm going to copy Control C and Control Shift V here, and that should be fine. It will compile still, but it won't show anything. Yeah, the most important things to have in this use package are the backend equals to biber, style equals to author year icomp. You need to have the TechLive full package to get all of this working, not just the biber, but LaTeX in general. So have that on. But yes, this is what I can do. And then the bib resource is the bib file you want to like save as. So to have a proper bibliography file, we can actually go to jabref and create a new library. That is actually the bib file that we are creating. Okay, so you don't have to copy and paste things yourself. This will help you to do it. So I can save this as test.bib inside the same folder. And of course, you need to take note of a few things. Test, and then this will be a bibtex database file. Save it here. And let's check in the terminal to see whether it's really over there. Wait, let me tab new term z shell. So this is the third terminal. So you see that the test.bib is there. I can use a cat command on it to check what's inside. There's probably nothing there. Okay, cat test.bib. You will have this comment. Database type is bib latex. Now by default, your jabref, at least from the time I downloaded it from the Arch user repositories, I'm not showing how to install it. I'm just showing how I use it. Just tinkering around, experimenting. Yeah, your jabref is usually will usually have a default library mode of bibtex. Okay, if you want to use biber, the later version, which we are using now. Okay, so biber is here. Okay, biber, the backend here is biber, and we are using bib latex, as you can see. So if you want to use bib latex, you will then have to make sure that the default library mode should be in bib latex. Right? So that's that. And of course, we can start doing citations. So I'm going to do some make a new section called random sign stuff. Section random signs, section random sign stuff. Okay, I don't have any snippets or anything going on. It's a very basic minimalistic thing. Not too many plugins, not too much stuff. And then, well, since I did chemical engineering and I'm interested in stuff like that, so I can look for technologies that are very relevant. So I can do some like fuel cell and look for some citations like that. Okay, and this web search, there are multiple places you can look. This one is taking very long because yeah, it's a search all engines, but you can actually choose which library of which websites you want to go. For example, you want to go Springer, and you can search for fuel cell. It's gonna be way faster, but it will only search within the library of Springer stuff. So you can see that we have this book over here. Then this is energy and power system. It looks like a book. We have a review paper right here, and you can see that by clicking on this, you're actually highlighting. So basically, if I just want this microbial fuel cell, a review. Okay, this is quite interesting. It's a newly emerged technology whose main aim is to produce green energy from organic waste materials. Yeah, looks quite interesting. So if I'm interested in this, I can just click the import entries. Okay, so when it imports the entry, it will show up here. There will be some PDF file, which I don't even know if it's like actually a PDF viewer. Is there anything there to show for it? Okay, but Firefox will open up if you double click the link, and you will be brought to the relevant pages. Oh, I clicked on it too many times. Whoops. So here is the link Springer. This is chapter 10 of some recent advancements in mechanical engineering. Usual paywall, you have to pay money for this. Well, that's reality for you, unfortunately. But at least you will be able to use you will be able to see the abstract. Now that you've downloaded this into the library, testbib, just save the file. Save the file here. Save library. You can see this thing called save library. And of course, you can check whether this thing is actually running bibtex by going to the library and checking the library properties. Make sure this thing is actually in bib latex and the encoding is UTF-8. This will save you some trouble down the road. Everything else you can more or less leave it alone. Okay. Now, if everything goes well, we should not have any problems, and we also need to change the bib resource here to come on, ci, yes, test.bib. Even the test.bib file actually shows up here, so that's very nice. Okay, so to have the bibliography, I can just put okay, this is my fuel cell text, and then I want to cite over here, cite. Wow, see, Samba 2023. It appears up already because this is the author editor. Okay, the language server protocol has picked that up, and it's over here. I can just save this citation, and I can print the bibliography at the back. Print bibliography, and just save that. Okay, we will have the bibliography here. Okay, so that's very good. You can see all happening in real time. And then of course the language server protocol LSP will actually say you should use this tilde, non-breaking space should be used. I can do that to help with the stylistic things. And let's see, print bibliography, say command terminated with space. Maybe I shall do this to not let it not complain. So I have curly braces, so that's fine. Of course, here's the last thing, but I'm really lazy to deal with the linting errors or warnings. Okay, so this is my fuel cell text. Okay, if I want to bracket this up, there are two ways. Okay, there are two ways here. One, I can actually manually bracket things up so that it will bracket up like so. Second way is to use the cite_p command. Okay, cite_p stands for cite with parentheses or cite with brackets. So that's the other way you can introduce brackets here. Okay, it will still have the brackets here, so that's what cite_p does. Now, unfortunately, not every citation you download from here is going to be very well formatted. So if I'm going to go use the search all in a web search, I can do the processing fuel cell and whatever. Okay, it will take a while to search, and yeah, you will realize not every thing is very well suited. For example, you see this one by it's called hybrid fuel cell supercritical CO2 Brayton cycle sequestration ready heat combined power. Now I'm going to import this entry, and I'm going to save. Okay, I'm going to save the library, and then we are going to run into a problem. Okay, I'm going to quit this part, but let me show you that, well, there will be some problems. Let me check here. Okay, I'm going to cat test.bib, and then you'll see that there are two entries here. Now notice that the entries here have a lot of funny characters. Okay, entries here have a lot of funny characters. So if I try to cite this using this cite key, you can take a look at what will happen. Okay, this is my other text, and then I will just use the cite_p command. Okay, and then what is this guy's name? Looks like Gotka 2020. Gotka 2020. Okay, so I will try to save this, and it will give me some sort of error. You see this thing is in bold, meaning to say that the citations aren't rendered properly. And then now you will see that here is an error. It says latex build error, and file ended while scanning use of /field. What's going on here? Yeah, and one more thing, you'll see that the errors are here, and it stops compiling. It says, oh, is this runaway argument? Then it tells you where the error is. It says the low prices and is relatively low intensity of natural gas, and then etc. This file ended while scanning use of field. And then what you have to do to continue is just go into terminal mode, keep pressing enter, and then you'll get there. Okay, and then you'll notice that the bibliography is not working. Everything's very wonky. The reason why, well, these things are not very well formatted. You see this %sign here. %sign in LaTeX usually means that, yeah, this thing is a comment. So if you comment out, you have this %sign here, it will comment out a lot of the scripts here. So that's very problematic. You do not want that. Okay, so how do we deal with this? Okay, one of the ways we can try, well, let's solve one problem at a time first. Firstly, I do not want to keep coming back here to say compile. I don't want to manually interact with the compile process. I want it to just auto compile. Okay, so instead of latex make PVC PDF, we'll have latex make PVC PDF, and not only that, I will include an interaction equals nonstop mode. Okay, so the interaction nonstop mode, it just helps to prevent us from having to manually keep pressing enter every time we want to compile something. So I don't know, I can't remember exactly where I got it from. Oh yes, let me take a look at where I found that source from, then I will show you. Okay, I found it. This is the place I found it. It says, what's the difference between interaction and non-stop mode? Okay, interaction non-stop mode is what we actually need to use. This is specifically with XE latex, but non-stop mode also works for latex make. Okay, so oh yeah, maybe I show you that one, more specific one. Okay, so this is the better command to use. You see this again on Stack Exchange. Thanks to this gentleman, looks like John Collins. Latex make PVC PDF. Well, XE latex is up to you. I choose not to do it, but the interaction is non-stop mode. Okay, so that's exactly what I use. I didn't specify the. All right, so here it is. Here it is, the non-stop mode thing. Make latex make ignore errors and finish compiling. This is done by John Collins here. He said that the simplest solution is to use latex make PVC PDF interaction non-stop mode. This is the critical command to use, and that's why I'm putting it here. Interaction equals to non-stop mode. Not only that, I mean, good practice is to have make sure you're compiling the text file. Okay, I did it without arguments, but latex make was smart enough to find the correct text file. So this is what it will do. It will not keep asking me. It will not stop the compilation process halfway through and then keep asking for enter. It will just auto compile all the way through. But of course, the thing isn't working properly because we have very badly formatted entry. Okay, we have very badly formatted entry here. We have all these sub things here, which actually yeah, it makes it look good. If you take a look here, CO2, this is a subscript, but in LaTeX it just doesn't really work very well. Okay, so one way to get around this is to use a cleanup, quality cleanup. So you can go to quality and you can go and under the quality bar under jabref, you can go to cleanup entries. Mendeley has another one called skip latex special characters, but that's kind of out of the scope of this video. You can do that in Mendeley as well. It's very good. Okay, but the one I want you to do is to add the entry I want you to do for cleanup is this thing called field name or latex cleanup. By default, this won't be here. So let me remove it and show you what you would have seen first in your jabref file. So the way to add this thing is to go to the all text fields, or all. So I can show you all text fields, and the thing to help to auto cleanup is just to say, yeah, let's do a latex cleanup here. I will use the plus sign button to add. Okay, and I'll say all text field, please do a proper latex cleanup so that all these percent signs, everything will go away. Okay, I'll just auto generate the PDF names, and you look at what the latex cleanup does. It will actually put a backslash at every of these percent signs. So maybe at least these things will compile. Now to make sure this thing actually works, save the file. And let's take a look at the test bib over here. Let's cat test.bib just to make sure that this file actually changed. So you can see that every percent sign here will have this backslash. Okay. Now, yeah, that's good. The citation works, but we still have this the subscripts that actually don't really work well. Okay, so how do we do that? How can we deal with that? Well, the one of the ways, of course, is to slowly go through all of this, and then you slowly like delete one at a time. Probably don't want to do that. The second way, of course, is use Vim to actually what do you call that? To edit it, because well, we have a problematic character that keeps repeating, and is this subscript thing. Okay, is this subscript thing? So I go for test.bib. Let's open this up. And what is it over here? I want to actually get rid of all the thing that, there's the sub. Every time I have sub, I want to get rid of it. So Vim is one way we can actually do that, because we can just go to this line and I substitute the sub for nothing, and then I will try to delete everything. Unfortunately, the pattern sub is not found. I can try sub with a space. Sub with a space. Okay, let me / sub with a space. And then I want to delete everything. And then of course I will just delete. And I'll save it over. There's still this sub sub command here. Okay, I will use because this thing uses a / for its delimiter. I cannot just delete. I cannot use / in the sub line. So I use visual mode to substitute things out. I can use a hashtag or #. I'll get rid of the sub. #G. Okay, so that actually helps to delete some of the subs. Then I can do this again under the title. Sub. So I get rid of the sub things, and one more. Let me get rid of the / subs as well. Oops, I forgot. Let me one more time. Sub #. So this thing I'm not going to go through, because you should be very familiar with it at this point in time. G. And then that will get rid of all the sub patterns. It should be able to compile better. Okay, I will not have my subscripts anymore, but at least I will get rid of all these funny things. So if we take a look back here, review changes, yeah, I can always just accept the change because I use Vim to change it. Okay, mark all changes as accepted and accept the changes, and then you will see that no, don't know why the sub things are still here. Okay, but over here the subs are all out. Okay, the subs are all out here. In the abstract, you will still have the subs and everything, but it doesn't appear over here. Okay, it doesn't appear over here as much. You will see that in the abstract there will still be the subs. See, the sub things are here. I can also get rid of them, no problem, using Vim, using a similar method. Okay, so I'm going to substitute all the / subs out. Okay, I'm going to substitute everything out, save it, and one more time, substitute the sub out globally, and that will delete all the subs. I'm going to get rid of all the XMLs. So we can review the changes since we changed it in Vim, and you'll see that CO2 now there's no more subscript here. That should be fine. Yeah. So this is the very sort of manual but not so manual way of like editing things in Vim, and we can just accept the changes here in a test.bib, and the library will be fine. Yeah, you can use both of this. Should not be an issue. Okay, the third way to do this, which I think is the easiest way, is actually to search Google Scholar for this exact article, and then you import it from there. So how do we do it? So the title is called Hybrid Fuel Cell Supercritical CO2 Brayton Cycle. I'll go to Google Scholar. Yeah, I'll go to Google Scholar. And then I'll go here. Okay, so here's Google Scholar, and I'm going to paste this thing out. Here is the right paper. Okay, yes, so what can I do here? Okay, usually you can click on the side thing, you can download a bibtex file, endnote file, refman file, or refworks file. Refman works very well for Mendeley, but over here there's also another way you can do it. I don't know, I'm not sure if Mendeley uses this method, but yeah, I'm not sure if Mendeley can use this method, but for sure jabref can use this method. What I do with this is that I just go to any one of these citations like APA or Chicago, copy this thing, I'll paste it here. So there's this thing here called plain references parser. So let me go through again. Go to the toolbar here, or you can import here into the current library. Oh, wrong file, sorry. Yeah, you have this thing called new entry from plain text. You hover around this, you have new entry from plain text. Open this up and just paste this APA reference here. Once you're done, just add this to current library, and you'll say your text is being passed. Okay, so you see these two are actually duplicates of each other. Of course, I'll need to clean that up eventually. But you see that this way you actually have a link, a DOI link, which you can click, and then Firefox will open up and do its thing. Yeah, so it takes a while to respond, but it does do so. And you see the way, if we do it this way, the likelihood of you getting more well-formatted bibtex is much better. Okay, so I have two Gotkar et al. Yeah, and I can, in the second entry, you will actually be brought straight to this MDPI article called Hybrid Fuel Cell Supercritical CO2 Brayton Cycle for CO2 Sequestration, ready combined heat and power. So that's using jabref. Okay, so this plain entry is very good. Okay, and yep, I can just delete this one if I don't want. I can delete this entry and I save over. Okay, this one doesn't have the abstract, unfortunately, but it has all the relevant fields that are needed. So let me minimize this, and Ocular will maximize. You'll say Gotkar is still an issue. Okay. Okay, there's one undefined input, and then we can of course see whether there are any other things. Okay, let's check whether the citation key is correct. It's called Gotkar 2028 instead of Gotkar 2020. So I think just for the sake of convenience, I'll just delete the 2020A just to prevent it from being a duplicate. So that when we cite here Gotkar, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Yeah, so now when we cite this Gotkar 2020, it will appear correctly here, at least. So yeah, those are some ways we can clean up the citations. It says here warning overflow, too wide paragraph. Okay, I'll deal with that some other time. But But yeah, you can see that this vimtex isn't too hard of a thing here, and it formats pretty well with vim and ocular and latexmk. Okay, vim ocular and latexmk, so it's not too bad. Most of the real-time formatting as you save is they are enabled by latexmk. You can do citations with jabref. It is very comfortable, pleasant experience. You can set this up pretty quickly. Okay, without Mendeley, without making the login account, everything's free and open source. Well, mostly free and open source software, or free software at least. So yeah. Thanks for, if you're watching, thanks for indulging me. This is just a curiosity experiment to see whether, hey, can we do all this latex stuff without the Vim LaTeX plugin? Okay, so you can do maybe 70-75% of what you normally get maybe in VS Code, when you have this you have this auto compiling in real time every time you save. That's the most important for me. You have citations, which you can do with LSP servers and LSP clients, so that works too. The only inconvenience is that you cannot do the forward and reverse search as easily, and that thing takes a lot of work, but if you can live without it, that's fine. Okay, again, this is not meant to be an efficient thing. This is just out of curiosity, and enjoyment. Yeah, can I do this? And that's enough for today.